Hello. Hi, welcome. I'm excited to be here. Happy Valentine's Day. Good to see you all again. I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is I have a lot of poems to share with you. The bad news is I ordered some food from Uber Eats and DoorDash, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to show up any minute now. So there might be like one or two little interruptions during the show. Yeah, I know. And so when people show up, for people who are already here, when other people show up and are like, "Where's Jasmine?" You have to tell them in the chat, "Don't leave, please stay." Um, but we're gonna give my food and some people a couple minutes to show up tonight. But good to see you, Chad. Good to see you here again. Thanks for joining today's poetry reading. Happy Valentine's Day. What else can I tell you before we get started? Feel free to ask your questions in the ask a question section. Oh, there's my food. 1 second. I get a meet. Okay, I'll be right back, but I queued up some romantic jazz for you, so just get in the mood and listen to this jazz while I go grab my food from downstairs. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Hi, I got some nice poke and fries. That's one of my favorites. Welcome, Chad. Welcome, Richard. Good to see you all here today. Welcome, random person who I don't know who you are, but you're welcome to be here anyway. Let's dive in. I don't know how long we're gonna go. I have a lot of poems for you, so you just let me know when you get bored and are ready to like take a break. But let me make this poll for you. I'm just curious because I want to know what direction I should go with a lot of these poems. Yeah, it's Happy Day of Love, Mom. 1 second, you're getting this poll. What else are there? What are the relationship statuses? Single, married, dating, broken up. Yeah, what else? Yeah. I don't know. Okay, well, maybe that's enough. I'll just put other. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, looking, that's good. Okay. Well, you guys can play with that while I set up for the first poem. Check out the poll. It should be a poll. It should be a poll that popped up. All right. So I have a ton of poems for you. I'm so prepared for today. I'm really excited. I watched a sad movie this morning just to get all my cries out, and hopefully it should be good. So I'll start with one of mine. So most of the poems today are written by me, unless otherwise stated. I've got 2 poems from some other women who've been through some things, and then two poems that are from the Bible, which is exciting. I think it'll be interesting to see how sexual the Bible can get, and how descriptive of love it can get. It is, in my opinion, one of the greatest love stories. So I'm excited to share that with you. All right, this first poem is called, oh wait, I want to make sure I can see the chat too. Okay. This first poem is called Be Gentle When You're Finished. And it has a curse word in there, Mom, so forgive me. I can hear your voice racing through my head, diminishing my resolve, wanting to be wanted, wanting to let you want me. Part of me wants to withhold my heart from you. Nothing about your smile makes me think that it's bound to be broken. I want to give you a chance to decide when I'm no longer capable of meeting your needs. I'll let you like me at a distance that I'm comfortable with, and maybe even those walls will crumble. I won't pretend that there isn't a little bit of crippling fear chained to my ankles, strapped to my wrist, but maybe there's something on your keyring that can help with that. Go ahead, date the shit out of me. Just be careful, or just be gentle when you're finished. That was our first one. That was called Be Gentle When You're Finished. I wrote that a little while back when I was still living in Seattle. For those of you who don't know, I have moved around quite a bit, and I really enjoyed my life and my time in Seattle, Washington. But we're just gonna keep it. We're gonna, hey, Crystal and Chris. You know, you have to like sign in on your own computers because it inflates my count of people watching. So no, take your time. We have so many poems. Mom, just keep me on speakerphone, and if the 2 Chris's, just listen for me, that's fine. But yeah, chime in. It makes me feel good when I get emails about people registering. So that's what I want for Valentine's Day today. All right, my next poem is called The One. It's a short one. I wrote it in October, and it's for the single folks in the crowd. Let me check on that poll. Let me see the. Yeah, sure. Okay, we got one dating person, so sorry for you. This one is for the single ones out there. It's a little bit of a play on words. I can't say I had a fun time writing it, but this is one of the poems where I got the idea of what I wanted to write, and then the words kind of flew. So this poem is called The One. When you finally find the one, there will be no second guessing. Won't be 3 strikes and you're out. They'll be what you waited for. When you're back from taking 5, they'll be standing at your 6. Take you straight to 7th heaven, down the aisle, 8 ways to Sunday. That was the one. I actually had to look up that analogy, 8 ways to Sunday, to to see if it really fit. It's one of those idioms that you might know in your heart, but you're not really sure where it comes from. So many of those things, these idioms, are like steeped in like really interesting backgrounds. So be careful when you use them. All right, sorry, I'm just taking a look at who's here and who's around. Cool, great to see you all here today. I'm excited to spend this Valentine's Day with you. So I am gonna decide whether or not I'm gonna chicken out, because one of these poems is a song, and and I don't feel like I have the courage to sing it for you right now, but I have recorded it before, and it's on my SoundCloud, which I don't really direct people to. But I'm going to skip it for now because I'm not super feeling like singing on an empty stomach, and skip next to another short one that I wrote when my little sister Honesty was visiting. And I had just gotten an iPhone 10. And the cool thing about the iPhone 10 at the time was that it introduced portrait mode, which is just like this amazing cinematography of photos. And I took some photos of her, and I was really inspired to write this. We were having a toast at a restaurant that I can't remember, but I would totally shout it out if I could remember. But this poem is called Portrait Mode. He looks at me in portrait mode. The background fades away. He locks onto my eyes. He listens to the words I say. He leans in when he speaks to me. He whispers to my heart. I've never seen true love before, but this is how it starts. I really enjoyed writing that poem, and seeing those photos of my sister just beaming with joy and seeing nothing around her but her presence. That was an absolute pleasure for me. So if Honesty is around, or Honesty comes back and watches, this poem was inspired by her. I think we actually went to have lunch after church, so I was feeling really like loved by God and really seen by him, and being able to share that with my sister and let her know that, you know, she is loved more deeply than she can imagine, was was an important, I can't say lesson, but it was an important thing that was sitting on my heart. But yeah, that's what's going on. Let me double check. Okay, so we've got maybe 10 or 15 minutes before the next delivery distraction, I'll call it. This next poem is called Life Plans. Let's see. I want to tell you these stories behind these poems because it's just us in here, right? It's just us friends. And I don't know if I'll share this one. So I should probably sing because I'm not going to share this one. Whatever, we'll see. I'm shy, you guys. I'm shy. Are you still there? Can you like post something in the chat to let me know that you didn't just like log in on your computers and then mute it and then walk away just so just so I would like feel great that you're in the audience? Okay, you're here. Thanks, Mom. All right, so this poem is about a guy. And why can't Crystal use the chat? Do I need to do tech support in the middle of a live poetry reading right now? This is why you gotta RSVP in advance so you can like work all these kinks out. Whatever. I'm not gonna criticize y'all right now. But yeah, this poem was about. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for helping. This poem is about a guy who I randomly met in a Trader Joe's. We went to school together. And we hung out for, I don't know, some days around the city, had a lot of fun, and decided that even though I think there was some like, oh man, I feel like Chad, you could describe this the best. There was definitely like an energy between us. There was a vibe, there was a chemistry, there was like all of that kind of, oh yeah, welcome, Crystal. There was definitely that vibe, but I think we already knew that we just had like conflicts in kind of the direction we were going in life, and that wasn't going to work. So this one is called Life Plans. And great human being. And if they ever watch this, you're a great human being, and we had a lot of fun, and I enjoyed those moments of like drinking Jamba Juice together and talking about, really talking about the depth of life. But this poem is called Life Plans. Like a moth to a flame, I hear you call my name. I'm happy that I came. We seem to be the same. You let me be your friend, and time we start to spend. We won't be hurt again. Now I can see the end. I try to avoid shame. You try to do the same. We keep things very tame, 'cause life is not a game. Your reason and your wit, my confidence and grit. The night that was moonlit, we made a choice to split. And now we deal with the feels that come after, longing for silence or echoes of laughter. Look in the book to reveal the next chapter. Are you my freedom or are you my captor? That was Life Plans. I like when I like when I'm inspired to write. Oh, thank you, Crystal. I see you in there. I like when I'm inspired to write by something that happened, something that was, I would call that bittersweet, you know, a bittersweet kind of moment. But it is a reminder that I can feel, that I can connect with another human being in that way, even if it ends up not being like the ultimate big final, man, this is such an awkward way to talk about it, but like the relationship or whatever. It's nice. It's nice to just have those brief moments of connection, because it's rare, especially during this pandemic where it's really hard to connect with people. Love. It is really hard to connect with people, and you get afraid, like you don't know what to do, or you don't know if it's possible for you to have feelings for anyone again. Maybe because you're hurt, maybe just because it's been a while. I met this person after being single for like 2 years or more. Yeah, but it was nice. It was brief, but it was nice, and I appreciate it. What's next? Yes. Okay, this next poem is, it has the guy's name in it, so I don't want to say his name, but it's called Meeting Whatever His Name Is. I'm not ready to reveal that to you. Maybe I'll reveal it to like my like top tier VIP patrons will get his real name, and maybe that'll encourage you all to upgrade for a month so you can know who I was talking about. But this was someone who I met through a friend of a friend. We met at a social dance hall, ballroom dance place, I guess. We weren't ballroom dancing, we were actually swing dancing together, but we met, and I will let the poem describe what happened, but it was another incidence of like, am I just that easy that I just get caught up in any romantic vibes that I feel with a stranger, and immediately am like, this could be it. Oh my gosh, wow. I don't know. I think I'm pretty picky, but also I'm pretty open. So here's another instance of something that went nowhere but felt really amazing while it was going somewhere. I wrote this. I actually sent this in a text message to them, because during the time where we had first met, we danced a lot, but then we went up to like the second level balcony where people can like watch down the dance floor, and we pulled out our phones and we started exchanging poems, just like letting each other read off of each other's phone, not like saying them out loud because it's a very intimate thing, as you all know, because I'm doing it to and or with you right now. But let me dive into it. I promised stories this time. I promised that I wouldn't just like plow through the material. So you're getting like real life stories here, which is why I made this patron only, so I could feel open enough to share with all of you. All right. Anyway, I text this poem to him. It's called Meeting Whatever His Name Is. He almost got me. I hope that you. Oh, sorry. This. Yes. I hope that you are still asleep, and I hope this doesn't wake you. I hope that you're still dreaming and this message doesn't break through the slumber that you've stumbled on, the dreams that you are dreaming, the comfort of your bed, despite the fact that I am scheming to flatter you with poetry. Who knows how it's supposed to be? The moment that you smiled, it seems that time, it may have froze for me. I hope that you awaken to these words and feel admired. I hope that you are proud of the emotions you've inspired. The realist in me will say this may have been short-sighted, but the romantic jumps for joy and hopes that you will be delighted. An interesting thing, you see, is writing this for you, from me, an evening overanalyzed and possibly a reverie, an ending unprocessable, an ending unexplained. Ignore the inaccessible. I hope we meet again. That was a fun one. That was a very, very fun poem to write, to feel, to share. And there's just this moment when you hit send and you're like, gosh, They're gonna think I'm a weirdo, but either way, I get a pretty great poem out of that one night of dancing and sharing. So I had a bit of fun. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you enjoyed these fleeting moments of relationships. I'll just say relationships that we have between people. Okay, one more of mine before I dive into one by someone else. This is yet another poem about I guess we've transitioned from that kind of you ready for the song? Maybe I'll think about it. I'll think about it, Crystal. If one more person shows up, I will sing the song. Yeah. Okay. We're transitioning. So I order these poems in like the flow of a relationship or possible flows. And we already covered kind of the ones that touch on, we're like moving pretty quickly, actually. Maybe we'll only do a half hour. I don't know. We'll see. Well, we moved from the single ones, right? If you're single, my gift to you was the one, right? Hoping that you find encouragement in that one. And we're in the section I designated as falling in love, which is, I think, really easy to do. I think it's easy to fall in love. I think it's easy to fall in love, but I think it's harder to stay in love. And when the chemical stuff fades and the energy is different, at the end of the day, love is a choice. That's something that Chad shared with me recently. But that I wholeheartedly believe that love is a choice, and you have to keep choosing each other day in and day out. But we're not there yet. We're not at that point of talking too much about that. But we're on the last poem of the phase of falling in love. So I'm going to give you one more. Oh, and I forgot to mention. No, this is the first one. There are probably one or two poems from today that are from a little book of poems called Moon Poems that I published with the guy that I wrote most of these poems with and for. And I did publish it on some self-publishing website. So technically, I guess I'm already a published poet. But I want to refind it, and I want to like print a little copies for you all as my patrons, so that you can give me feedback on what you'd like to see in the actual book of poems that I publish later this year, maybe for our 1-year Patreon anniversary. But yeah, this one is from Moon Poems, and it's actually called The Moon Is Ours. Bear with me. I imagine that maybe between the stories, I'll like clip out these poem videos, these like little snippet videos, and maybe just share the poems and like none of the stories in between. So that's why I'm kind of being a little bit formal with the bookends of, anyway, I don't know why I'm explaining myself to you. I don't have to do that. This poem is called The Moon Is Ours. I'm staring at a near perfect moon, thinking of you. I was 15 minutes from home and 15 minutes from you. Question 1, which way do I go? Question 2, when did this become such a hard decision? Answer 1, home. Answer 2, I'm not sure, but I realized that at the end of the day, I couldn't bear leaving you for what would have been the 3rd time today. Disappointed in my choice of destinations, when I got home, I called dibs on the moon. So when you read this and you see said moon, you can do as I'm doing right now and imagine it as a portal between what feels like the world that divides us. It's our moon now. And if you break my heart, you break the moon. And if I break your heart, I break the moon. And if I break my heart, I break the moon. But I believe the sun will rise. Yeah, I mean, I remember writing this poem. I was driving across, what is it called? The 520 bridge. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for the claps. I appreciate your responses. I appreciate you being there. I was driving across the 520 bridge in Seattle. It has this amazing view of Rainier, amazing view, like one of those just like open sky views over the water. And yeah, it was a choice to like get on an exit, go back to the city and see this guy again. We had seen each other for breakfast, and then I had done something in the city, and then I'd popped back by his place to have coffee, and then I left again, and then I was driving, and I was like, why did I leave? I literally have nowhere to go and nothing to do that would be more fun than hanging out and playing games with you or reading on your couch. But I just felt dumb. I just felt dumb about driving back, and it was late. It was late anyway, obviously because the moon was out or whatever. But anyway, good times with these little. I can't call them flings because flings feel so frivolous, and these things like were not intentioned to be. Were they like? Thank you, Chad. They were not intentioned to be these little moments of feelings because I don't love that way. I don't. Yeah, I just don't. I think I anchor in pretty deeply and heavily from the start, and I almost have no choice because I want to be loved and I want to love, and when I feel like it's reciprocated, it's so much easy to just to pour back. So I am gonna mix it up and give you a poem from a professional. Oh, thank you. Thank you for your love, Chris. I appreciate you taking out all of you coupled up, booed up people. I appreciate you taking time out of your real relationship day to spend this day with me. And oh yeah, I wore this little ribbon. It came on a gift basket that my Chad sent me. Chad, you are my Chad, but you're my mom's Chad. But my Chad, he sent me a gift basket, and this ribbon is from that. But I put it in my hair, and I put my hair up to like be on my Amanda Gorman. I hope you all saw the inauguration and saw her just give an amazing poem. And yeah, so I did that like in honor of her, just to like, anyway, there I go, explaining myself again. But this poem is called I Love You, and it's by Ella Willer. Oh my gosh. This poem is called I Love You, and it's by Ella Wheeler Wilcock. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Give me 1 second. I want to drink some water. My throat's getting already sore because I don't talk this much. I don't talk this much in real life. All right. I love you. I love your lips when they're wet with wine and red with a wild desire. I love your eyes when the love light lies lit with a passionate fire. I love your arms when the warm white flesh touches mine in a fond embrace. I love your hair when the strands enmesh your kisses against my face. Not for me, the cold, calm kiss of a virgin's bloodless love. Not for me, the saint's white bliss, nor the heart of a spotless dove, but give me the love that so freely gives and laughs at the whole world's blame. With your body so young and warm in my arms, it sets my poor heart aflame. So kiss me sweet with your warm, wet mouth, still fragrant with ruby wine, and say with a fervor born of the South that your body and soul are mine. Clasp me close in your warm young arms with the pale stars shine above, and we'll live our whole young lives away in the joys of a living love. I really enjoyed that poem. It's so sweet. It's so emotional. I think Ella did a really great job of describing kind of just the blossoming beginning of that romantic, intimate love. And that's where we are. That's where we are now. We're in the love phase. We're in the everything is good, everything is fine. I'm made of steel. My feelings are impenetrable, kind of head over heels, romantic love phase. So this next poem is Whatever. And by that, I mean it's actually called Whatever. And I hope that, oh, hold on. 1 second. Give me a moment. I think this is my next food. Okay, I buzz them up, but we'll see if they actually like come and leave the food at my door. Sometimes they leave it in the lobby. And oh yeah, so for this order, I ordered popsicles from a black-owned business in San Francisco. I ordered a maple bacon popsicle. I ordered a organic mango popsicle, a Nutella popsicle, and I can't remember the other one, but I ordered a bunch of popsicles. These are my sweet treats. They're organic and vegan. Yeah, they're vegan and dairy free. Most of the ones that I ordered. I think maybe the maple bacon one has a vanilla ice cream in it, but yeah, I was excited. I actually got I hate to put this ad here, but I got an Uber Eats gift card as a part of one of my Valentine's Day cards. And yeah, so I spent it on popsicles because if you know me, ice cream is cool, but popsicles are cooler. What's cooler than being cool? What's cooler than being cool? Come on. What's cooler than being cool? Give it to me in the chat. No? Nobody? Okay. Well, I'll keep moving. I don't know how delayed this is, so I don't know if I'm just being impatient with you or or I don't know. But whatever. I'm going to move on to this poem, and if you know what's cooler than being cool, you put in the chat. Oh, I hear them. Okay, I'm going to read this poem and then hopefully the popsicles don't melt. This poem is called Whatever. Whatever it is. Oh, thank you. Sorry for the interruptions, but I'm also not sorry because I get popsicles after this, which should soothe my poetry voice throat. This poem is called Whatever. Whatever it is, it's true, and it's governed by the way you feel for me and me for you. Whatever it is, it's real. It seems to be more than just a way to feel. Whatever you see is me, accepting who I am, transforming who I'll be. Whatever you see is truth. Pretending is it right? I can't give you the proof. Whatever we do, it's good. We wonder if we might. We wonder if we should. Whatever we do incites, ending fantasies, scary dreams, and late nights. Whatever you are, don't change. Already my whole life, you've slowly rearranged. Whatever you are, don't go. Sometimes I tell you yes, sometimes I tell you no. Whatever you think is right, I'll follow where you lead if you will hold me tight. Whatever you want to be, a lover or a brother or a friend or enemy. That's the poem. I'm gonna grab my popsicles really quick. I'll put on some jazz music for you because I'll have to grab the popsicles, put them in the freezer, wash my hands, and then remember that I'm reading poetry to live people that I wrote. So give me 1 second. I'll be back. Enjoy this romantic jazz. Feel free to get your own popsicles or tea or whatever you need. Take a bio break. I'll be back in a moment. I'm back. That was quick, right? I'm fast. I didn't want to leave you hanging. Plus, we've already been here for over a half an hour. Isn't that crazy? I did my first poetry reading and it was only 30 minutes and it really just flew by. So I gave myself a little bit more time today. But you know what? I should check in. I should check in. Should we stop? Should we stop? Are you tired of poems already? Do you have other things to do or should I keep going? I have a whole program for you. No? Okay. All I needed was one person who wanted me to keep going. I'll keep going. All right. This next poem is called This is an Invitation. We've gone back in time. Let's see. Okay. It's hard to read these poems when you're here, Mom, because it's about stuff. And but you know what? We really bonded. My mom and I are on Clubhouse. I don't know if you guys are on Clubhouse, but my mom and I are on Clubhouse, and we shared some like really intimate stories about our past. And now I and now I feel closer to her. So anyway, my story is not going to be as graphic, I'll say, as the story that she shared on Clubhouse, but it is interesting. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I enjoy sharing the stories behind them because usually when you go to like a poetry reading or something like that, you just go up on the stage and you read it. They actually don't like for you to be like spending 5 minutes telling you the backstory, but I will tell you the backstory for this one after I read it. Don't let me forget because I might forget and chicken out, but I will tell you the backstory behind this one. This poem is called This is an Invitation. A lonely night? Don't have to be. You could be lying next to me. No locking gate, no price to pay, and work just 2 short miles away. A boring room that's icy cold, not here 'cause you'll have me to hold. I'll giggle while you play with me when we should probably be asleep. And even if you snore all night, I'll sleep well if you hold me tight. And to make and to make up for all that snoring, cook me breakfast in the morning. This is an invitation. So this is an invitation. And it's another one of those poems that I actually texted to a person I was interested in. This person was someone that I met at work. Haha, that I'm not going to answer for you. I'm not going to let you know the truth. That has a lot in there. So you know what? I was gonna paste in the chat. I'll paste in the chat so you can read it, and then we'll walk through kind of not line by line, but I'll paste in the chat. There we go. Okay. Yes. So I sent this invitation to a real human being. I texted to them, stanza by stanza, and what happened? There was one night I was at their place and I used to have a car. I don't have a car anymore, but I used to have a car and this person lived in the city and I would drive to see them and I'd hang out with them and then go home. But there was one night where the parking garage that I parked that was under their place was actually the parking garage for a grocery store. And my car got locked in the gate. And so yeah, I ended up staying until like 2 or 3 a.m. I almost stayed the night, but I didn't because my car was stuck in there. It was super tempting, but I ended up getting a lift home. And I felt a little bad about that because I wouldn't have mind staying. It was like a very respectable human being. And their place was very cold. Anyway, we had fun. And they do snore. And they do cook eggs really, really well with lots of spices and vegetables in them. So anyway, that was an invitation and we're gonna move on to this next one. And yay, I'm glad that we talked about that because now I get to read you a poem from the Bible. This is from Song of Solomon. It is infamous chapters or book of the Bible about love, about the relationship between Solomon and his bride. It is I'll just dive in. I won't explain this one because it's not my story to tell. I'll let the poem do what it does. So this is Song of Solomon 4. Behold, you are beautiful, my love. Behold, you are beautiful. Your eyes are doves behind your veil. Your hair is like a flock of goats leaping down the slopes of Gilead. Your teeth are like a flock of shorn ewes that have come up from the washing, all of which bear twins, and not one among them has lost its young. Your lips are like a scarlet thread, and your mouth is lovely. Your cheeks are like the halves of pomegranate behind your veil. Your neck is like a tower of David built in rows of stone. On it hang 1,000 shields, all of them shields of warriors. Your two breasts are like two fawns, twins of a gazelle that graze among the lilies. Until the day breathes and the shadows flee, I will go away to the mountain of myrrh and the hill of frankincense. You are altogether beautiful, my love. There is no flaw in you. Come with me from Lebanon, my bride. Come with me from Lebanon. Depart from the peaks of Amana, from the peak of Senir and Hermon, from the dens of lions, from the mountains of leopards. You have captivated my heart, my sister, my bride. You have captivated my heart with one glance of your eyes, with one jewel of your necklace. How beautiful is your love, my sister, my bride. How much better is your love than wine, and the fragrance of your oils than any spice. Your lips drip nectar, my bride. Honey and milk are under your tongue. The fragrance of your garments is like the fragrance of Lebanon. A garden locked is my sister, my bride. A spring locked, a fountain sealed. Your shoots are an orchard of pomegranates with all choicest fruits. Henna with nard and saffron, calamus and cinnamon, with all trees of frankincense, myrrh and aloes, with all choice spices, a garden fountain, a well of living water, and flowing streams from Lebanon. Awake, O north wind, and come. O south wind, blow upon my garden. Let its spices flow. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that that's the Bible? It's very romantic. It's very descriptive and poetic. I mean, we're talking about lips and breasts and necks, and that is insane. That is the language. That is not in your church. Oh my gosh. I just read it. I just read it like love. No, I do. I feel like that intimacy, that level of intimacy is condoned, is encouraged, right? In a right relationship, the intensity of the romance, it's totally right. I think it's right. And yeah, I hope you have someone who loves you like that, who describes you like the hills of Lebanon, and loves the oils of your body more than any other, artificial fragrance. I'll give you one more. I'll give you one more of this romantic love, one written by me, and yeah, and then it's probably all downhill from there. Honestly, I'll try not to get too dark, but you get one more because it's Valentine's Day, and this is probably what you came for, to feel all lovey-dovey, romantic, and just a little sexy. I did throw a little sexy in there, but not too much because I knew my mom was coming. All right, this one is called "Oh, But He Loves Me." And sorry for the sultry voice. Actually, I'm not sorry for the sultry voice. This is just the voice exhaustion after 45 minutes and drinking cold room temperature water instead of tea on an empty stomach. I will prepare better next time, maybe. No guarantees. I make no guarantees almost ever. And I'm so happy that no other person is going to show up, so I'll never have to sing for you. Haha, what a joy. This poem is called "Oh, But He Loves Me." Oh, but he loves me more than anything. He will stay with me forever. This is my one true love. This is my present and my future. I await the day I take his name. I await the day we open the door to our home and our children race out with their hearts full of joy and anticipation. I love him with everything that I am. I would give my life and everything that I own. I have only yet to give him all of me, but patiently I await the day that we will become one. I can't start to explain everything that he's done for me and everything he has helped me through. He is my heart. He knows my mind. He is at one with my spirit. This is my destiny, to be his wife, his love, his everything, to shelter him and adore him, to make a home for the man that God has called for me. I love him, and that is more than enough. He was made for me, and I was made for him. I love him more and more every day, despite the troubles we face, because our love is stronger than anything. We are not perfect, but we are together, and nothing but God could ever change that, because he loves me, and I love him. That's it. That is my poem. Oh, but he loves me. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. I wish I could say that I wrote that about a real person that I cared for, but I didn't. This is a poem. I have it tagged. This is the poem from my teen years. And I say teen years because I was digging through some old files on my computer and I found a Word doc full of poems I wrote in high school. And this is one of them. This was one where, I was probably listening to a bunch of love songs and watching a bunch of rom-coms and just like abstracting all of the images of romance and love and how it's supposed to be and what I want it to be for me whenever it was that I got my first chance to fall in love. So yeah, I wish I could say this one was inspired, but this one was more aspirational. And I imagine that if you do love someone already, maybe this is how you feel, right? I don't know. Let's see what's next. Okay. Now we've gone through being single. We've gone through falling in love. We've gone through being in love. And then there is always the inevitable end in some cases. So I've got just a few for you in this last category. Nothing too intense, nothing too much, but this is another one from the little chat book that maybe I will send out to all of you, called Moon Poems. But this poem is called The Man on the Moon. I'm in love with a man on the moon. Let me try again, because this poem has a flow to it, and I love the rhythm. I'm in love with the man on the moon. I fell for him in early June. He makes my tides both rise and fall. He makes my tides both fall and rise. He sees right through my tough disguise. At night is when we used to meet. He'd swing me round right off my feet. Together we would take a gym. Together we would always win. Apart is what we're meant to be. Apart, not far, but painfully. And if I could just let it go, then life with me he could forgo. His precious heart so far from me, and I just want to set him free. But I cling tight so selfishly till sunlight brings some sense to me. So you've probably seen some themes here. The sunlight, which I spell SONLIGHT, and some more references to swing dancing. Yes, this is the same summer love that I had, who, but not the one I met dancing, honestly. It's the coworker who I sent the invitation to. It was my first coworker romance. This was someone who was interested in me, heard that actually I was in a relationship, and the guy I was dating, is the person who took me swing dancing for the first time. I went with him and his friends. And I was like, I don't know. I never swing danced before. I don't know if this is like a cultural relevance thing, but let's go. And I actually fell in love with swing dancing that night. And the guy I was with was so bad at it, he hated it and he was mad and he wanted to leave early. And I was like, no, I found a hidden thing that I love. And that was amazing for me. So this guy heard me talking about my love for swing dancing after that date and ended up taking swing dance classes for 2 whole years. Like also fell in love with swing dancing, but took swing dancing classes for 2 whole years, got incredibly good. And then when they heard that I was available on the market single, they sent me an email on work mail and asked me to go swing dancing with them. Nonchalant, no big deal. And yeah, we went dancing and that was great. We went dancing and we went to a cider bar. I love cider more than wine or beer or maybe even whiskey. Cider is such a gentle drink. We went to a cider bar. We played something. I'd have to ask them what we played, but we played some board game at the bar and we went walking by the water. And we were playing Pokemon Go. So now you can like timestamp this relationship. We were playing Pokemon Go. So that's where you get the gym aspect of this. And at the end of the night, again, I went home. I don't know why you know what? I do know why we always saw each other at night because we were work all day. But at the end of the day, he kissed me on my forehead. This was probably the tallest person I've ever dated. And like being kissed on the forehead for me as a woman is like the most rom-com, the most movie magic moment that you can have. It's just like when a guy like takes your hair and like puts it behind your ear. I don't know if that happens to Black people, but it happens to white girls all the time. But the forehead kiss was just like melted me. I think that might have been the first one I ever had. Yeah. Anyway, backstory. That's what you get. I'll keep moving. Sorry for the rant. Oh yes, I will tell you more about that one. The next poem is called Random Thoughts of You. And I'm not even sure if it counts as a poem. It's really a stream of thought, of consciousness. Man, it's long. Oh, I don't know if I want to give it to you. It is a very emotional stream of thought, rant. I don't know if I sent this or texted this or emailed this or whatever, but it's a lot. It's a lot. And I took this poem and it was the first time I did kind of like a director's commentary on this poem, which I will say for another day because it's already really long, like really long. I did a director's commentary because I think I've mentioned this before. One of the things I really enjoy about writing poetry is that I don't have to be open. I don't have to be direct. I can be super passive and hide everything with metaphors and some similes and descriptions and stuff like that. So I did a commentary on this poem, section by section, really describing the truth of the relationship. And I did that because I thought that like so much of what was really happening was buried so deep into this poem that if too many years went by, I might actually forget what really happened. Because it's so masked that, yeah. So yeah, anyway, I did that for myself and I never really read the one with the true notes in it because sometimes it's just nice to remember things as you remember them and not as they actually are. So this poem is called Random Thoughts of You. This is why I freeze when I see you. These thoughts flood my mind and all I can do is smile. You inspire me to poetry and song. You send lightning through my heart. How were you not made for me? Where are the walls built between us? I find happiness just knowing you exist, knowing for a brief time you were mine. I won't let my selfishness of holding on to you hold you back from the life you were destined for. Through your eyes, I see myself as more beautiful than I have ever been. You help me see the person I feel like I could be. You make me want to be the best version of myself. I can feel how much you care about me. I can see it. I can taste it. When I wake up, I consider your happiness and how you will spend your day. I wonder what you'll have for breakfast and how far along in your book you are. I think about whether you're really going to go to the gym after your dance lesson and what game you'll be playing, or if you'll grab a coffee and walk through the park smiling at dogs as they pass you by. When it gets later, I miss you unwillingly. I don't want to bother you. We're both trying to move on, but I want the day to end with my head on your chest, listening to your heartbeat just for me. I don't want things to be so complicated. I want to give you space. I want you to have more and better. I don't want to keep going back and forth, throwing caution to the wind, only to be smacked by reality. This is not a game to me. I know that we are real people with real lives that we have to get back to, and I just want my heart back. I want to be free from you, but I also want to be with you. I am trying to immortalize these feelings with words. I won't ever try to pretend they didn't exist. I won't ever try to pretend that you aren't special to me. My goal is not to mimic or emulate or repeat these experiences. My only hope is that I can continue to live a life so consciously and with the amount of passion you have filled me with. Does this make me sound weird? Should I back off? What is happening to me? Doubt and worry make me feel crazy. Fear makes me feel dumb and young. I am pretty sure this isn't helping. I didn't expect this to end this way. Whew. Oh, don't cry. I almost cried, but I was like, shove it down, shove it down. Yeah, that's a hard one. That was a hard one. But yeah. Yeah, it's too much. So let's pivot. Let's read a poem that is not by me, but is equally as emotionally enthralling. Oh man, I can feel that I'm gonna cry, so I'm gonna try not to cry. I didn't wear makeup. I put this on. I put this lipstick on, but I didn't wear makeup on my face, and I didn't wear mascara or eyeliner because I was like, I don't want to cry. Anyway, this one is called Valentine. It's by Lorna D. Cervantes. These poems that I find on the Poetry Foundation, but you are more than welcome to suggest poems on the theme of the poetry reading if you would just want to hear me read them in my super awesome poetry voice, which is also like my sex phone line voice. But yes, thank you, Crystal, for being here. This poem is called Valentine. I'll do my best to read it without crying. Valentine. Cherry plums suck a week's soak. Overnight, they explode into the scenery of before your touch. The curtains open on the end of our past. Pink trumpets on the vines bear to the hummingbirds. Butterflies unclasp from the purse of their couplings. They light and open on the doubled hands of eucalyptus fronds. They sip from the pistils for 7 generations that bear them through another tongue as the first year of our punishing mathematic begins clicking the calendar forward. They land like the seasoned rocks on the decks of the cliffs. They take another turn on the spiral of life where the blossoms and pale in the day of dirty dawn, where the ghost of you webs your limbs through branches of cherry plum. Rare bird, extinct colors, you stay in my dreams in X-ray. In return, the bone of you, stripping sweetheart folds and the layers of shedding petals of my grief into a decayed hologram, my forever empty art. I don't know if that one was too much or too deep to follow, but it is a perfect balance of life and death, of sleep and awake, of nature and animals and people. And it just spoke to me. You can't see it, but the way that the lines are staggered make half of a heart. And I don't know. I wonder what would happen if I reflected the poem and then read the lines across, what it would make. I don't know. But that was Valentine by Lorna D. Cervantes. Okay, here's the last of the sad poems in the breakup category, in the heartbreak category. I've got one for you. Again, nothing too heavy. This one is actually a bit hopeful. It is on the verge of our transitioning to brotherly love or general love, from one person to another. But this poem is called I Will Love Again. Yes, I will love again. I look back on my last lost love and laugh. I laugh and enjoy the joy we shared and the way we made each other feel. Love is always the same, a beautiful, full body experience, and I will love again. I was always going to love again. I had love in my heart waiting for the children we could have had together. I had love in my heart for the new friends that we would make over the years. I have love for my ever-changing group of coworkers and their families. Love is the world's most renewable form of energy. Love makes all things possible. Love helps us to become the people we've always wanted to be. Love makes us stop thinking about ourselves and honor the fuller joy of being devoted to someone else's happiness. It wouldn't hurt this much to fall out of love if it didn't feel so good to fall into it. It's all we were made to do. Forever isn't always, and I will love again. That was it. That was I will love again. And I'm sure that I will. And I'm sure that you will. I'm sure that we all will have new and continuing moments to find love and to be love. And that is a perfect segue into the next poem. I'm going to keep it moving because we are at over an hour of being together. And I have just a few more for you. I promise we'll wrap super soon. But this one is called Becoming Never Ends, and it's a tiny poem. It's super short. I wrote this poem for a friend of mine. Oh, yes, exactly. Yes, you are your first love, and you should be your first love, and your last love, and your best love, and your greatest love. I am my greatest love. Yes, thank you for that, Mom. I appreciate it. This is our transition. This poem is called Becoming Never Ends, and I wrote it for a friend who I have feelings for, but I have decided that we should be friends. But yes, I'll leave it there. I don't want to explain this one because that is a very complicated relationship, because this person makes me feel like a teenager, like a teenage love so much with everything they say and do and are. And I just love that there's a person who can make me feel that way in a permanent manner, because there's no risk of relationship there. There's no risk of the relationship growing and aging and ending. because we're in this friendship moment. And that's the one thing I do love about friendships, is that they are deep, and there are few things that break them. It's almost like the sibling love, that we can hate each other and we could fight, but I'll never stop being your sibling, and we'll always have this kind of bond, this best friend deep bond. Anyway, enough of that. This poem is called Becoming Never Ends. How can you be my friend and inspiration? How can a heart express such adoration? When loving words are misplaced as flirtation, we need to reinvent communication. So I express myself like I know how. Accept this as my humble, solemn vow. I think of you. I'm often thinking, wow, he must know how his words have helped me now. That's it, your tiny little micro poem. I hope that you can share it with someone who just speaks life into your life, someone who builds you up and encourages you, with a love that is pure, a love that they get nothing from but the joy of seeing and feeling you be loved. So this is the last one from me. It's called Love. And after this, I'll read you one last poem from the Bible, and we'll wrap for the day. And I do have some sneaky thing for you, some like treat for showing up and for staying for the end. So get excited about that. This poem is called Love. And this is another one that I should sing, but if anything, people have dropped off since I've started. So we're even like 1 or 2 or 3 below the quota of me singing for you. So yeah, so I won't. This poem is called Love. Love, when you don't feel loved, when you're not sure it's mutual, when you're hurt and it's their fault. Love, even though you're tired, even though they don't notice, even though you're scared. Love, after everything's over, after words have been spoken, after feelings are shared. Love, for your peace of mind, for the times when you needed it, for the sake of love. Love with your whole heart. Love when it gets hard. Love even though you're mad. Love after good times. Love for the world. Love is all we need. That's it. That's my poem. I feel good about that one. I feel encouraged and inspired by that one. And I'm also happy that I don't have to read my poems for you anymore. We're done. We're done for the day. So I will just leave you with what I really truly believe is a bit of poetry about love. I know, don't be sad. This is read at every wedding I've ever been at, and so I'm pretty sure you could guess what it is. But I'll read it anyway. This is your last one? No, I can't keep going. I have to eat this food and my popsicles, and they just released the version of Cinderella that has Brandy and Whitney Houston, and I want to watch that today and sing until I can't sing anymore. I'm so excited for that. So here it is. This is 1 Corinthians 13, the way of love. If I speak in the tongue of men and of angels, but have not love, I am a noisy gong and a clanging cymbal. If I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but I have not love, I am nothing. If I give away all I have, and if I deliver up my body to be burned, but have not love, I gain nothing. Because love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but it rejoices in the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. Love never ends. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part, but when the perfect comes, the partial will pass away. When I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man or a woman, hey, I gave up childish ways. For we see in a mirror dimly lit, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know fully, even as I have been fully known. So now, faith, hope, and love abide, these three. But the greatest of these is love. I hope that you have enjoyed yourself. I hope that you have had a good time today and that you feel loved. Know that you are loved by me, you are loved by God, you are loved by the world in some way or another, even if you don't feel it. Do not hesitate to reach out to me today if you are feeling some kind of way after going through this emotional roller coaster of love with me. We only see in part, and that I love about this poem. We only see in part. We don't see both sides of the story. We don't see what's next for us. We can barely really process the things that have already happened to us. So just remember, be patient to yourself, be kind with yourself, rejoice in the truth. Let's go out and outdo one another in showing kindness. That's another verse that I really love. I love a challenge, but that one is one of my favorites. And everything we aspire to, material wealth, even our physical health, all of these things, they fade. But love is forever and it never ends. And I appreciate you guys supporting me through through my ups and downs that I've been facing recently. But I do love you. I have love for all of you. And oh yes, your treat, your gift. So a little self-promotion because I can't help myself. I don't know if you have this button, but the button says justice. Maybe you've already clicked it, but if not, click this button. It says justice. It's a sparkly blue call to action. It will link you to my website where I will be hosting a new poem series called Justice. And shout out to Chris for his single, Fred Hampton. Am I saying it right? Fred Hampton. It's actually available wherever music is sold, but my poems, unfortunately, are too short to exist on music channels, and they don't have background music like Clementine Sky had. So they will exist on my website under Justice. Yeah, great job, Chris, right? Shout out to Chris for a moment. Let's just show this Black man some love. Anyway, Justice is the first track is available now on my website. The rest of the 5 or 6 other songs come out next week or come out on Friday, February 20th, which is World Social Justice Day. It is a day to celebrate and honor the work that are done by millions of people around the world to create social justice for many people who have been disenfranchised, underrepresented, undervalued, underappreciated. So check it out. I don't have the emotional strength to read it for you today. That's why I recorded them. That first track is called Black, and it's about being Black and loving being Black, and it's great. And I know it's my mom's favorite track, which is why I released it first for you. It might be the best thing I've ever written for Justice. But yes, keep your eyes out because Friday Justice launches. You get everything all nice and curated. So thank you for coming today. It has been my joy and my pleasure to read this poetry for you. Have a great Valentine's Day. And yeah, eat lots of chocolate. Bye.